So we're back.
Wow.
We survived.
We did.
Just barely.
We're here.
By the skin of our teeth. Is that it?
Yeah.
We've had a few days to recover.
It's Wednesday.
You know? So...
Where do we start?
Well, we could start with a wish.
A wish.
Yes.
That they do this every year.
At least every other year.
I know, but wouldn't it be great if they just like turned it into a Dick's? Like Hollywood Bowl, you know, Dick's.
Yeah.
Mexico, MSG. Like, let's put a couple tent poles around the country.
I think
and you can do the tours. But let's set this up as a see you at the bowl. You know, see you at Dick's, see you at MSG.
420 every year.
That's exactly it.
The bowl.
Oh my God.
You know? Like, why not?
Be life-changing.
Like, yes, as you said, Dick's every year Labor Day.
Right.
MSG every year New Year's Eve.
Right.
Mexico every year President's Day.
Right. Hollywood Bowl
every
year 420 weekend.
It would just make sense. Oh, like even if it came down to like these guys are like in their 70s.
Yes.
You know, and like every year they just do the same, what is it? 4, 7, 15 shows. You know, 15 shows a year. They just cover all their bases, right? Colorado, New York,
no, but
Mexico.
Then they can do tours from these places. They can go there. They can zig. They can
do a little zing around in the Southeast. You know, Atlanta, make them happy.
Totally.
Go to Chicago once in a while.
Absolutely.
You know, but like, you could tell by the look on Trey's face, the giggles that were coming out in the middle of a jam. Yeah. You know, like when he was playing tube and he just like, what was so funny? What were you laughing at, man?
He was laughing because it was so awesome.
Yeah. Like you could tell. And like, it's not like, no knock on Denver, okay? But like, what does Denver have to offer for their experience? And for all the people traveling from all over the country for their final weekend of the summer, go to Denver.
It's become a thing.
It's a thing. And like, yeah, you can go like explore nature, you know, hike in the mountains, enjoy the views. But like, as a city, Denver is inferior. But it's affordable, right? You know, like you can go to Denver, you can get an Airbnb for $150 a night, maybe less. You know, you can stay in a hotel for $100 a night. You know, you can camp. If there's no like, you know, groundhog fucking zombies coming at you, you know,
I don't know if people. LA is very accessible. You got a buddy here. You can post up in any hotel from A to Z.
Yeah, there's Airbnbs.
I'm not concerned about that.
No, but I'm just trying to think like, what would be a hurdle for them to decide? Okay, well, that was amazing. We had 3 shows in a row on
packed
on
shows.
Not like a holiday weekend or anything, you know, like, but everybody came out. And like, I have heard from people on the ground, a lot of people came to these shows who had never seen Phish.
I heard that.
B, had not seen Phish in a long time.
Absolutely.
And C, had never experienced Phish in a venue that was so accessible once you're inside. You know?
I know.
You could go, when you're in an arena like MSG, you're in all these rows, you know, and your friends are over in section 119 and you're in section 107 and maybe you'll have a rendezvous, you know, between sets or before the show or out in the streets or at a bar afterwards. But like at the Hollywood Bowl,
you can mix it up.
You can mix it up. You can be floating around. You can go to the very back.
Tip top.
You can go anywhere in your section and kind of like see your buddy, and there's tons of space everywhere.
It is the best.
You know, the security situation, people, like the enforcement of movement around the venue was light.
Light.
I'd say like
very light.
10 being the most secure and 1 being the least secure. It was at like a 3.5, 4.
I was gonna say, yeah, same vibe.
The ushers were allowing people to flow through for the most part.
Yeah.
And that is conducive for a very enjoyable experience. You're not tied to one little space sandwiched in between two people and unable to make your moves. Bathroom lines. None.
Food lines.
Minimum.
You can pre-order food off the app. You can, if you're in the boxes, you can order food from a server.
Right to you.
Make moves out in the, concessions. Is not crazy. Our wish
is that this becomes a thing. It's just like...
It's so obvious.
Why not? Inevitable. I'm sure they made so much money, and not just that, they had so much fun. They were like, Mike was out hanging with celebs, and Fishman was playing at the Roxy, and like, there are just so many things for them to do on their off time where they're exploring a city. They could be going to Guitar World. They'd be going to Sam Ash. They could be going to bringing their kids and going to Disneyland. Universal Studios is 10 minutes away from the Hollywood Bowl. I mean, April in LA is an incredible place to be.
You were talking about his laughing, okay? They were smiling, they were laughing, they were having a good time, and like not just proud of themselves for the playing, but just like soaking it in. Like you remember, I mean, we're jumping ahead, but Divided Sky, he's just looking out at Divided Sky, just soaking it in, waiting. There were so many moments where you could see just complete and utter joy on all their faces, and they said as much, like Paige was like, we're so grateful to play here. They've each,
it's just a different experience than an arena. Arena, they're encircled in a way.
Yep.
There's people on the floor in front of them. There's people on the sides. There's people far back, in the stands. Whereas at the Hollywood Bowl, they're looking out at 17,000, 18,000 people all just lined up right in front of them, every face directly in front of them, looking right at them. There is very few seats in that house where you don't get the ultimate light show. Mm-hmm. Whereas at MSG, you're on the side.
You're behind the lights.
You're just like, you're not getting the Apex experience. And that's what I was saying. That is what I coined as these shows at the Hollywood Bowl is the Apex experience.
I like that.
For Phish. Because I have been to 30 plus 3-night runs, 3+ night runs of Phish. And including festivals, but not including them in these comments. This was the best place to have a multi-night run for Phish. Because you're in different seats, you're getting a different perspective, but all of them don't fail. Nothing fails there. You're in the last row. I went up to the very top, and the sound is good. They had the screens on. Mm-hmm. All the way up, so you could see Trey doing all his noodling. Even if you're in the last row, you could see his hands. And there's just no reason to be unhappy.
It was, headline is, boy oh boy, was it a good weekend.
Yeah.
These guys, maybe I'm just riding the enthusiasm, riding the high from the weekend. It's been a few days since, so, we've had some time to collect our thoughts. When you walk out of the show, it's always the best show you ever saw. Totally. We've all been there. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of best shows we've ever seen. But these guys, I don't want to speak in hyperbole, but this 3-night run might have been the best 3-night run. Let's put festivals off to the side because those are different experiences. But just arena rock tour, Phish, or even, I don't even mean 3-night run. I mean like even little sections, let's say you used to hit like a Hartford, Camden, whatever, like just those sections even. Doesn't need to be the same venue.
Yeah.
it delivered so much. These guys are playing at peak performance, apex performance, different, right? It's not 95 super shreddy. It's not 97 cow funk. It's not 99. Like, it's not, I mean, we know what world we're living in, but these guys are playing insanity.
Yeah. I mean, this same thing that they did last year, the spring tour, early summer tour, where they went, you know, did a week and then ended it with Deer Creek.
Yeah.
That was great, you know, but it was sweaty. You're in an amphitheater.
Sticky.
You know, it's dusty, it's dirty, it's uncomfortable. Whereas the weather here in April or May, you know, or June, I mean, weather here at almost any time is better than anywhere else. No, barely any sweating.
Yeah.
You know, sure. The only knock on the Hollywood Bowl, I'd say, for some people coming in from out of town who don't have experience, is getting there.
Totally.
You know, the parking sucks.
The Ubers suck.
Well, you just have to know that once you get within like a half a mile of the Hollywood Bowl, it's going to be slow.
Or you hoof it. Yeah.
Right? And that's totally fine. There's no lot.
It's a beautiful
scene.
walk.
There's no lot seen. There's people set up, you know, on Highland that are hawking their wares, but like you're not, whatever.
Yeah.
There's no
shakedown.
There's no shakedown. But there's a lot of people out on the streets having a good time.
Totally.
And Hollywood gets basically taken over by Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right? Which ain't bad. You know?
No.
Adds a whole new element to the Hollywood Boulevard's vibe.
Yeah.
But I would have to say that this is the best run, or even you pick out any one of these three shows, and it's superior to any show that they've played in 3.0 in Los Angeles.
Oh,
I would say.
Hands down.
You know, like, yeah, the Forum show in 21 that we've discussed with the LA Woman.
That was a sick section.
It was a great show.
Yes.
Great zone, the couple of zones they had in there, but these three shows, they were locked in like throughout, all night. Just doing things in the first set, in the second set, all the way through that were just like, okay, these guys are clearly feeling it.
And it changes the narrative, because you're right, there has been this narrative, right? Oh, you know, Phish doesn't necessarily deliver in LA. Even take away the Forum, even go back to, 3.0. They're still at the Bowl. Go back 10 years. They're even at the Bowl. There were some great moments at some of those shows too, right? And then they go into the Forum, and I don't really know. There wasn't a ton to, you know, you wouldn't put them at the top of your list. Was it the best thing you did all week, all month, all 6 months? Sure. I mean, it's great still, but
comparatively speaking,
they have never really like absolutely crushed LA.
Yeah.
2021 was getting up there as a solid situation.
Yeah.
These 3 nights unequivocally blow the doors off. Best performance in LA, and among my favorite runs that I've experienced, going all the way back.
Yeah.
To
I totally
you know, when
agree.
my memory begins to fail me.
And maybe we're biased, you know, we live in LA.
Yeah.
But from speaking with the people that I know who came here from New York,
Yeah.
you know, one of the most hypercritical, you know, friends of mine who's seen hundreds of shows, who lives in Manhattan, who's been to probably every show at MSG in 3.0, said to me, they need to do this all the time.
Yes.
Why the fuck not? Like, put me under the stars, outdoors, with just like room to feel the groove wherever you are, and that adds a whole other element. Like, it's worth traveling across the country to experience that. And I guarantee you, if they do this again, you will not be able to get a ticket as easily, because more people will come.
Well, remember the narrative before the show that, you know, people were like, geez, 3 nights at the Bowl. Like, I wonder how ticket sales are going. Are they going to be able to pack it? Like, sure, maybe Saturday night might be big, but like Sunday, I don't know. And Friday, I don't know. The place was jammed. I don't know about how, I don't know whether it was capacity or what, but you look all the way up to the top, people.
Filled.
It was busy.
Maybe
it
they
was
got
packed.
in for $15, but I don't think that'll happen again.
I just loved it. Like, seeing all those people, it was, oh my God. I don't even.
Should we talk about some of the musical highlights that they threw at us?
Yeah, I mean, like across spanning 3 days,
Spanning 3 days.
musical highlights.
They started off with a repeat, which was like a precedent.
I like
setting
that.
a precedent. You were excited about that.
Well, MoMA right out of the gate. I'm thinking first thing, excellent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my Holly hood. I'm gonna get whatever.
Yeah.
It opened up. It just opened up more possibilities for me. Right
100%.
on the
There was
first
no
moment
limits.
of the first day.
No limits.
No limits.
And yeah, opening it up with MoMA Dance, getting Sigma Oasis out of the way,
Totally.
and then throwing a Party Time, Strawberry Letter 23.
Great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
Loved
just
it.
like you can tell when a Strawberry Letter 23 comes out that they're like feeling it, because that's not an easy song for them to sing, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Trey was feeling his vocals all weekend.
He was.
Hitting those notes, going up and down and all around, and really expressing himself vocally.
There were moments when it worked for me.
For sure.
Like, he is getting better at it,
He's getting better at it.
right?
He's picking and choosing his spots where
Yes.
he's going to like take it up a notch. And sure, I'm proud of him.
I'm here for it. I'm
Yeah.
happy for him.
You do you, man. Because like your guitar speaks for itself, and now all of a sudden, you've been working on your vocals, and and I think people appreciate that.
I do.
And then in the middle of the first set, everything's right.
Yeah.
20 minutes long.
But they
It was
jammed it
tight.
out.
It was tight.
Exactly.
It was tight.
Yeah, that was a surprise for me, right?
Yeah.
We're coming in exactly like you said, MoMA, Sigma, Party Time. Okay, like let's flush the system. Let's get it going. We're just getting started. We got 3 days ahead of us. Okay, everything's right. Yep, right on time. Boom, they jam it out. 20 plus minutes.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me off the bat.
You knew that like they're going to throw a big jam out in the first set. People are going to, like the noobs who are just seeing Phish for the first time are like, whoa, what are these guys doing? Like, this is pretty cool.
Is it still the same song?
Yeah. Is this still Everything's Right? Because like, I don't know. This is just like what I've created in my head and made just an assumption that over the last 13 years, whenever they come to LA, maybe they feel a little bit more pressure. It's like an industry town.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of like people in the music industry.
Right, that showed up to the show.
Who are
but they're
showing
like
at the show, and
yeah.
maybe that's made them a little bit nervous in the past. And I feel like they just like threw that off to the side, and they're like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna do what we do, and we're gonna melt everybody's face here.
Just be Phish.
Let's melt everybody, because like this is us."
Yeah.
And they just kept it going. Like the first night,
I really like that funky bitch.
same.
Yeah.
And like Wave of Hope, they're playing their new songs.
Yeah.
Great. Shade, fine, good. Everybody needed to take a piss. I took a piss. And then set 2, they come out again with kind of that like not expected sample in a jar opener.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like that My Soul first night at Berkeley. Like we're going to just start off with like a little,
Yeah.
let's get in a groove.
Get it.
Was
Yeah.
tight, Everybody who like hasn't heard Phish since like 1998, 9,
They're here for a sample.
college.
Yeah. They love a sample.
Sample in a jar.
Yeah, they know that one.
song I knew.
I know this stuff.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then Down with Disease,
Which
went deep and tight.
Yeah.
They weren't just like messing around, like legging it out. They were feeling it. But Mercury, fine, great. Blaze On to me was the best jam of the night.
Agreed.
And after that, I was like thinking to myself, they've been jamming this Blaze On.
It's probably
really
time to
good.
wrap it up.
Like, what are they? What's going to happen? Like, I didn't expect what happened next.
Me neither.
You Enjoy Myself. I was actually, I didn't hear the beginning. Yeah. There was like something going on. I can't remember what I was doing. I was like, we lost somebody.
It was a kerfuffle.
I was looking around.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I was like out by the bathrooms anyways. But I got back, after the first like minute, and it was great. As usual.
Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah.
Tight. Not a super long vocal jam.
Not a super long vocal jam. No, but it was end to end.
I don't like the vocal jam.
I mean,
happy.
I don't
like they
I don't
have
need
been,
I don't need
they
a
have
long.
been starting to play again after the vocal jam here and there, which they didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they played what everybody wanted to hear at that point,
Yeah.
which was Cavern.
I know.
You know?
I heard so many people say I got my cavern.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Cavern, and then
Phish.
yeah,
Yeah.
my least favorite encore. But at the same time, it's got that like number line kind of vibe. Where like,
Yeah.
you hear those first notes and you're like,
I know.
and then they get into that like reggae vibe zone, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, you know. But you know when they play that as their encore, it's going to be probably the only
The
song.
one and done.
Which is
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
You know,
No, it does. It takes the momentum out of the encore. You're happy. You're glowing. You've had a great time. You have 3 nights of Phish. You're
Yeah.
good. You're fine. I thought it was fine.
they
fine.
they set a nice
I was
precedent.
warm and fuzzy feeling, like you said. It gets the reggae vibe. You know, you're like you're just grooving, and you're like, this is it.
And the great thing about, like, some people look at this as a great thing. Some people are like, oh man, but like starting the show early and ending the show early in LA.
Beautiful.
Then you got the whole night, Friday night. Go out and hit the town, hit one of those after parties. There is just a million things to do in LA after a Phish concert that ends at what, 10:45?
Yeah, 11. Yeah, they wrapped up before 11.
Before 11.
Yeah.
And then you still got a couple hours before the last call.
Yeah.
You know, which is the same in New York. Last call in New York's what, at like 4 a.m?
I have no idea.
I think so. Anyway,
But night one was good, right?
it was great.
I had a great time. I talked to a lot of people. Everyone kind of had the same vibe. You know, they had moments they liked, for sure. They were happy about the jams. They sounded great. The sound was great. They're happy, all that stuff. And we got a lot, you know, we hit a lot of songs that we were like, great. Like, this just means the rest of the weekend
Is wide open.
yeah, we're sharpening the point. We fleshed some stuff out.
Yeah.
It was very exciting. I was so optimistic
Yeah.
after that first night.
And then the second night comes around, you
Oh, my
know,
goodness.
everybody who's in from out of town has a little bit more experience,
Yeah,
you know,
people
about
definitely.
getting to the hall.
A lot of people got there on
getting in, you know,
Yeah.
finding those alternate entries as opposed to just like the main one.
Yeah, you got to go.
You know, people were figuring it out, which is great. That's how the Phish community is. We like learn from our experience. And I guess Phish also had learned from their experience the night before and felt like, holy shit, there's no roof here, but we're going to blow it off.
They blew
tonight.
the fuck out of that place.
Holy shit. The second night was just like, again, for those peeps who hadn't seen Phish since like 1995 when they were in college.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, had been living in LA and, you know, Hoist was a great album. And
Haven't
so
got
was
back
Picture
east in a long
Nectar,
time.
Nectar,
Yeah.
you know, and like Phish has come around a few times, but like, man, maybe I'll go see them at the Forum. But then they went and saw them in the Forum in like 2018, and they're like, who
Yeah,
are
like, I don't
these
know.
guys? Then their friend convinced them to come back.
Yeah, Saturday night. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. It's one night.
And whammy.
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 Just like
Ghost opener.
hit after hit after hit after hit. They're pulling out Junta. They're pulling out Nectar. They're pulling out songs from Riff. Just like all the oldies.
Dude, Ghost opener is a signal. Was a signal that things were gonna go the way that they did.
Like
for me.
I'm just looking at the set list right now. Okay, they played what? 3 songs that were written in the last 20 years?
Yeah, we got our leaves.
Leaves.
We
Meat.
got our twists.
When's Meat from? Meat's
from Story of the Ghost.
Okay, so 2 songs from the
It
last.
was tight. Leaves. We got Twist. Life Beyond a Dream. Well, we got Back on the Train. Look,
No,
I don't even know what-
those are over 20 years old. Back on the Train and Twist.
yeah, you're right. I guess
The only new songs from this millennium are Life Beyond a Dream and Leaves.
you're right.
Everything
Everything
else
else is deep.
is deep. And like the one thing we all know what the set list was for this show. We've all looked at it, listened to it. But like this is a message to all 4 members of the band. Okay? 2001.
Ugh,
This was an incredible 2001.
the best.
But like let's just keep it going for like an extra like
Yeah.
six,
Keep that groove going.
6-7 minutes
stretch
longer.
it.
Like
Stretch
it
There's
out.
no need to
Like,
wrap it.
no.
Yeah.
Because like, how incredible is the energy of that building when a 2001 is just like locked in?
Dude,
and-
people were boogieing.
yeah.
Like, just like boogieing.
And I understand, like, you know, it's kind of the same thing over and over again. You know,
Yeah,
they're
but
like,
they get in such a nice lock.
I know.
You know, they're so like there's such a tight space that they just like lock into, and it's just like you know.
I know.
You can just dance through that song and just keep it going.
That is like apex Phish, you know, where it's like the build, like everybody wants like the build, explosion, funk.
Yes,
You know, like,
get it all.
build, explosion, funk. You know, like that's what 2001 is, and it's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Then you know you
That was
drop it
great.
into Sneaking
But
Sally.
drop it into Sneaking Sally, dude.
Nobody's complaining about that.
I didn't even see that. I mean, I wasn't thinking ahead. I was just enjoying that 2001. My brain wasn't on. It wasn't like analyzing anything. I was just like in that 2001, dancing right into it, right through it.
Yeah.
And then boom, Sneaking Sally, which just like you take everyone who was just grooving hard.
Yeah.
And then you just give them a reason to jump up and down for joy. Like the whole place just like popped for some reason.
Yeah.
My goodness.
It really was just a special segment, you know, like Chalk Dust Twist, 2001, Sneaking Sally.
Dude, that
Back on the
Chalk Dust
Train.
went deep. That's
Yeah.
over 20-minute Chalk Dust, you know? Like they came out of the back end of that thing with some serious business going on.
Yep.
The twist was nice. Everyone who doesn't like a twist?
No.
Everyone loves
Because like that's warming up
Yeah.
the crowd.
Yeah,
People involved
everyone's
in it.
like wooing, you know, we got the whole thing going on. Everyone's into it.
Yeah.
It was a nice section.
Yeah.
And like for me, okay, the Saturday show, there was a little pressure on, okay? I brought my family
Mm-hmm.
and I brought my daughter to her first show.
What a
Okay.
show.
Oof. And you want, right? When you bring people who aren't going to see every night of the run, you hope that the night you bring them to is the one that delivers. I mean, who doesn't, right? Like, come to the show. What day? I don't know. Let's pick Saturday.
Yeah. So the debut average year was 1994.
Yeah, I mean, that is some old business.
Yeah.
This whole thing. Dude, Esther, I love Esther. I love catching Esther.
Ghost Bowie Esther Hood to start off.
Go for me, Esther Hood. And then Meat is just like fun and gnarly. Then Melt, Leaves, great. Oh, Squirm and Coil. Can we just talk for a second here?
Yeah, please. I know you're a Page guy.
I might have mentioned this before. I'm a Page guy. I love when they do set one, close, Squirm. Any closing Squirm and Coil I'm here for, but like a set one, Squirm and Coil. Or even a set two and Squirm and Coil. Because the band, I love when they walk off. I love when they walk off and they leave them there. And that you can't, there's only certain times you can clear the stage
Yeah.
and let the man play.
Yeah.
But at the end, oh God, and like, I love that whole section. And it was just like, for me, it was just like it was just like a chef's kiss on that entire first set.
Yeah.
Is that man sitting at that piano with that light shining on him, doing his thing. Everyone's just like, hearts are melting across the board. Everyone's loving it.
And it was a bonus. Like, I thought Melt was going to end that set.
Totally.
But
Yeah.
I wasn't keeping track of time. Well, yes, I was.
No, but it didn't feel like there needed to be a coil.
Anymore.
Exactly.
Like, Leaves came, and I was like, oh, okay, they're going to end the set with Leaves?
Yeah.
All right. But then Coil started. I was like, what?
Yeah. And then he's just like, we are so grateful
Mm-hmm.
to be playing here. After just like tickling everyone's ivory in the whole place. Everyone's ivory's been tickled. And there he just drops it. And it's like, we're at set break. And everyone's looking around going like, did we just get a Ghost Hood Bowie? Did we just get all that in the first set?
Yeah.
Like, what is coming down the pipe?
I know. You just like, they found their way. And again, finishing that show.
Out of the encore. How do you finish that show?
First two to end the second set.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which, like, what do they got left?
I know.
What are they going to pull out for the encore on a Saturday night after what they've just done?
I know.
I thought initially it was going to be like a Contact or something that would
lighthearted.
be lighthearted.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
those first few notes.
Yeah.
Oof. We got that
antelope. We got the 2023 antelope.
Yep, that one antelope that they'll play this year. We got it.
Saturday night. I mean, and what a triumphant way to just like cap that show off, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. High gear in my soul for sure. You know? I don't have words.
I know.
It's just like,
That was like a near perfect 3.0, 4.0 set list, well executed. There is nothing more anybody with in their right mind could be asking for on that night.
No. You would be the most jaded vet of the universe
If that didn't satisfy.
if you had a problem with something that happened that night.
Yeah, I agree.
You just go like, this band, man. Like, what is actually up?
They made a lot of new fans that night.
Totally.
You know? Like, there were people there who'd never seen Phish. And now all of a sudden they're like, I get it. I get it.
And just that catalog selection is so great. We got it all.
Okay. Good.
Saturday.
We did
Done. We did.
Saturday done. And then Sunday again. They start off strong. You know, a couple of warm-ups, a Divided Sky, and then right in that 4 slot again, they pull out Cities.
Look, Birds of a Feather, let's get it popping. Roger, great. Divided Sky, I love. I wanted a Divided Sky. I wanted it. I want it every time I see them because for me, that was a song that earwormed me and changed my entire life. Because, I mean, I have this vivid memory of like, I was at summer camp and like this like crunchy, heady, counselor had some Phish playing. It's like, great, there's some Phish playing. This is cool. What's up with that? What are they called? Phish, huh? Gives me a tape. Don't lose this tape. You lose this tape, I'll kill you. Got it. Totally. Won't lose the tape. And then, I'm into this. This is music. Oh, it's cool. I really like this. Let's go on this and let's see. Okay, Divided Sky. Life's different now.
Yeah.
That was a song that did it for me, that cooked my book. And I've been on the train ever since. And I love it. And it was a great Divided Sky. And the pause was extra nice.
It was. It was still light out.
Yes.
Trey
was just soaking it in.
Yeah.
Soaking it. And everyone's just, I love when it works and that, like it dies down because we're waiting and then we realize he's not doing it. Yeah. And it picks back up again and he just like lets it happen again. And that happened like 2, possibly 3 times before he dropped it,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is there a specific amount of time that they like count in their heads, or is it just like changes every time? I don't know.
I think he's just got to feel it. Because it's different. It is different every time, right? I mean, it's a pause, but there's... I've listened to a lot of Divided Skies.
Back at Fishman, and he's like, all right, we're coming back in.
It's so nice. But you were saying something about the cities?
Yeah. Like every cities I've seen for a long time, which has been few and far between, have not been like crazy. They don't really jam that song out so much anymore.
Yeah. This jam was...
This one
extraordinary.
This one they jammed out. I mean,
dude, his guitar tone is at apex guitar tone right now. He was bringing in like loops from back in the day. I'm a sucker for some of those like those loops, 99, 2000 loops. He had some of that going. I don't know if it was in this jam, but they just brought it all. Like they just brought the best of every era. They brought the fast fingers from 95. They brought the funk from 97. They brought the loops from 99, 2000. Like they brought the like patience. They brought the patience of the 3.0 era, right? Or like the wisdom that has come with that. Like they brought it all.
Apex
Phish.
Apex.
It's like absolutely insanity was happening
like
right now.
Crescendo of everything's right. Everything
was right.
Everything that could be right was right.
I know. It's insane to me.
like that cities was like the reason you never want to miss a Sunday show.
Never.
That was like, and it was only the fourth song of the night.
Yes.
Tube,
and then Tube,
like Tube, you knew they were going to play that. They play that almost every time they're in LA. Right? They love that, like on the freeway in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
line.
freeway
and
in Los Angeles. Why not?
They should play it in LA every time they're here.
When in Rome.
And Taste, Unexpected, beautiful,
well done,
beautiful version, and About to Run. So like when they started playing About to Run, it was dark. There was energy. It's short version, you know, nothing really taken too far or anywhere, but like there was just like energy in that About to Run, and they were like turning that into like almost like a first Tube or you know, like a good first set closer. Like that is a great first set closer.
Yeah, it like set me through set list.
I like the slot for that.
Yeah, it was great. It was so great. It just kept the moment. Like it was like we're coming back. Like second set, like we're still here. Like we're not snoozing this one out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And there was a lot still on the table. And Mr. Completely, for the final set, you know, they again had a lot of energy.
Yes.
They found this nice zone and they were exploring around and it felt good and there was good energy in it. And this was the final night at the Hollywood Bowl. So I was, during set break, was moving around, seeing all my, you know, friends, relatives, you know, didn't go to the bathroom or anything like that.
Yeah.
Mr. Completely going well. Song I Heard the Ocean Sing kicks in and I'm like, oh, okay, thanks guys. I'm going to go pee now. And by the time I got back, they were like, you know, verses, there was no line, obviously, but I got back within a few minutes. Verse was kind of done, and they had just like jumped right back in.
Yes.
To where they left off with Mr. Completely. You know, like they, dare I say, best song I Heard the Ocean Sing ever.
I'm with there. I'm right there with you. Yeah.
But just like energy. They were hitting right back into it. Like they didn't even need, it was kind of very similar jam. They just kind of like picked right back up. They threw a Song I Heard the Ocean Sing verse into the Mr. Completely jam and then like came right back to it.
Yeah.
And then they ended it with Mr.
And they came back into Mr. Completely. Yeah. I know. It was like tucked in between this whole thing. It was really good.
Yeah.
And so just energy. You keep saying that. Just so much. They were just like heat. It was just like happening.
Yeah.
Wolfman's,
great.
Yeah.
You know, Ruby Waves, good. Feels like when there's an About to Run, there's going to be a Ruby Waves somewhere around there.
Yeah. I dipped on Ruby Waves and was back in like under 3 minutes.
Yeah.
This Got a Jaboo, the back end of it's great.
Yeah. And the Wolfman's, to step back for a second. It did have a very good kind of funky vibe to it. You know, like they were kind of bringing back, like they seemed to have a bit of a formula for these shows where they were like kind of working the same zones in each set with similar vibes, which some people may look at as, you know, non-creative, but it just seemed like they had found the first night like this formula for where they should go and what they should be doing at certain times, and it was working.
Yeah.
So they kind of found that again with like a little bit of funk, a little bit of, you know, free-flowing good time with Wolfman's and Jaboo.
Yeah, I agree. They were funky. Like that's exactly, that's what I was saying. The back end of that Jaboo, you know, got kind of nasty for a minute, you know?
Well, yeah, it sure did. You know, Jaboo went to a place that you weren't necessarily expecting because they were teeing up what I thought was going to happen on night 2 at the Berkeley.
I was going to say, you heard it at the Greek.
Yeah, they put it back then.
Tease, the long tease of the no quarter,
and then it came.
Yeah,
you know, like
I know.
Paige must have said something to Trey at some point.
Be like, I was trying to play it a couple nights ago, bro. You didn't hear me
tonight. You know, I really want to do that because
it was great.
It was so good,
so good.
It's one of my favorite covers that they do for sure.
I know, it's fun.
They do things with songs that they cover that the original band maybe didn't think of or didn't do. You know, like for me, when I first heard them play While My Guitar Gently Weeps many, many moons ago, I was like, holy shit. They can like take this song, Trey's taken this song to a place that George and John never even fucking considered.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they didn't have the pedals,
And
you know, the sound effects,
pedals.
or the, you know,
Languedoc.
definitely didn't have the influence,
Yeah.
you know, that Trey had that had pulled together all these different influences,
Yeah.
was able to take, you know, these notes and make them really soar. And like, it's kind of the same thing with when they play Zeppelin,
Yes.
you know, they take it.
Yeah, they take it further.
And that's why like No Quarter is the perfect song, Zeppelin song, because like the vocals aren't super
Pronounced.
You don't have to hit like Robert Plant notes,
No.
you know?
But just working that, like, just working the music.
Yeah,
I know.
Oof.
I know.
It works.
Great.
Yeah, every time.
I just remember the stage being red.
Mm-hmm.
That's my visual memory.
Yeah.
They were just in it.
Very much so. And then super high energy Possum to put a cap on that set.
This, like, I wasn't at the Berkeley Possum, okay? But, like, you were talking about how it was this Possum, everyone in the place is up, like, off the ground, like, bouncing off the ground, okay? Just super high energy, to use your words. Everyone in there was so psyched, and they just shredded the possum. And the possum was, like, an excellent possum, dare I say?
Yeah. I re-listened to it yesterday, and I was like, this is...
It's a possum.
Of the hundreds and hundreds of possums that they've played, this is a good one.
That's what I mean. Like, it's
They're
like,
all good.
They're all excellent. I love a possum. I got no problem with a possum. You've heard it 1,000 times. It always gets the party started. But this one just took it up a notch, and they delivered.
Yeah.
Like, they delivered out of that possum.
Yeah. And then we all knew, you know, like, Slave was going to be the end of this tour. They hadn't played it yet.
I know.
You know, it was very predictable, but they came out and they played Wilson.
Yeah, I know.
Also,
That was,
you know, I was like, great.
I mean, this whole weekend, I was wondering, you know, who was going to show up from Gamehenge. You know, it occurred to me as I was wondering what was going to happen, what we were going to see, you know? Yeah, I mean, the Wilson was great, right? Because we're just, yes, thank you. Sick Wilson, you know, nice Wilson, just it's fun for everybody. We are all here for that. And then the Slave was, yeah, of course, you're right. The Slave was very not out of left field at all, like right down the center, but nice.
And like, I'm okay with it. You know, like some people's Slave is like their favorite song ever.
I do like a
like
Slave.
they just like close their eyes, hands up in the air,
and they just ride that
like
wave,
flowing with the Slave.
Yeah,
and
I like it.
It's not my favorite song ever, but it's a good song. I do like it. I'm not mad at it. I just like the predictability of it coming was just like the one thing that like I was just had like a little peak of hope in the back of my mind that they were going to do something else. You know, that they were like going to throw another Fluffhead at us. You know, because like
that would have been would have sent it.
That would have just like
Wilson Fluffhead would have sent it.
Ooh. But again, I'm not mad.
Not mad at all.
I
like a Slave.
Yeah, I like a Slave, and I knew it was going to come, but I just thought that they had enough time for a Fluffhead, and maybe it would happen.
It occurred to me that how much material, you know, I was lamenting, you know, is it going to be no repeats? And, you know, I had some concerns before the weekend. I really wanted to deliver. Boy, oh boy, did it blow my expectations away. The most thrilling 3 days of Phish I've seen in a long time. And then you think, like, dude, there's like so much Gamehenge that, you know, there's like Mockingbird, Lizards, like
that was the other one.
I know.
It was like
I know. I was hoping for.
I was calling Lizards after every song ended. I was like, all right, Lizards, here we go.
To say I'm disappointed I didn't get a Lizard is not even true, because there's no such thing. There's not a tinge of disappointment. Okay, I'm not disappointed in the slightest. I wanted a Lizards. I would have loved a Lizards. But I was just thinking, like, man, even after 3 nights, like, they could have done 4 nights. Like, they could have done 4 more, another night.
Yeah. A Phish residency
and
would
just
be
like
incredible at the Hollywood Bowl, like 2 weekends in a row. You know? I might die.
Our wishes.
I'm just happy it wasn't like a bug.
Yes.
You know?
100%.
Or a Contact. You know?
It's like that would have been fun, like night 1.
Yeah, but not to cap
not to,
the
like,
entire, you know, West Coast.
Send us off with a
tour.
Contact.
Yeah, don't. And that's why I knew they'd been holding that Slave card in their hand.
Slave was in the pocket
the entire week. They weren't going to play it. It was like premeditated.
Yeah.
Slave is going to end it at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm not mad, as I've said. I'm not mad about it. I just like, if they had done this or that. Doggy.
Doggy, but I was... Dude, this Wilson Slave was great for me. What a nice way to... Like, because Wilson just gets everyone, you know, like...
Involved.
Like, everyone involved, exactly.
You know?
Like, we hate that evil king, you know?
Yeah.
And we're all in it together.
Yeah.
And then, like, Slave, you know, it just... That middle section is beautiful. It's beautiful. You've done 3 nights. You're tired. Your feet hurt. Your arms are in the air.
Yeah.
Dre's guitar is just taking you through all the feels.
Yeah.
You're soaking it in, you know, they didn't jam it out, you know, obviously. They didn't, you know, it just like takes you right where you need to be. You already know what's coming, and it lands you softly.
Yeah.
Back in your seat to collect your goods and figure out how you're going to get home, and figure out like that you've been unplugged for 3 days, you know? And here's the thing, like, I'm going to borrow something from a meme account, okay? I gotta tell you this story.
Okay.
I'm coming in through the security gates on Sunday. There's this dude in front of me with a heady beard, okay? Many dudes with heady beards there. But then he's got these like biker blades on, and I was like, this guy looks familiar, you know? I realize it's You Enjoy My Data, the guy from Instagram. Yeah. Anyway, so I like, oh my God, I'm not gonna say anything. But then I was like, whatever, I'll say something. It's gotta be him, you know? Anyway, super nice dude. And he did something after the run that was like, he did like another chart. Okay. Like feet hurt, like, you know, back hurt.
Yeah. That graph.
The graph. Yeah. Like feet, back, whatever, like energy drained, like, but like heart full.
Yeah.
Like I was so, you know, kind of tired and bruised and banged up. And, you know, it's been a long couple days, you know, so much anticipation, so much joy, just everything. But then like so full and so like happy and recharged. Like, how can you be drained and recharged all at the same time? It's so incredible.
It really is.
Like physically tired, but emotionally brimming.
They did it.
They did it.
They did it again. You know?
This band, dude.
Again, it's time. Come back. Just book it.
I was talking to someone else entirely and had the same conversation that they need to, like, wouldn't it be great if they just added this to the calendar?
Yeah.
You know? What a weekend.
Incredible. Really was. Just reinvigorates everything. Not that I wasn't invigorated, you know, but was good.
This is as good a Phish as it's ever been in ways that are different than it was.
I mean, they've got a huge arsenal. They just like dialed it in, and
I, you know, just from reading and dabbling and talking, this enthusiasm is shared across the board. I haven't, you know, people seem to have had a shared experience across the board that this was just like a exceptionally special weekend.
Yeah. I mean, if you came and, you know, you experienced this venue for the first time, this band for the first time, this city for the first time, or none of the above, and this was your 100th time at the venue or with this band, or you live in this city or you don't, I mean, it was almost impossible not to have a great time. From everybody I've spoken to. It
was impossible.
From everybody I saw.
Yes.
You know? Like, I even saw, like, people who work for the band who are normally, like, you know, backstage doing their job or whatever. Like, on Sunday, people who work for the band out in the crowd, jamming, dancing, like, just taking it all in. You know? It was cool. All these celebs coming out, admitting their love for the band.
Yeah.
You know? It was great.
Oh, boy.
All right, we can...